Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest battlefield is not in the office, not in the streets, not in the economy. The greatest battlefield is the mind. If you can conquer your thoughts, you will command your destiny. Life does not change when circumstances change. Life changes when you change. Change your mind, change your life. You are not a victim of life's circumstances. You are not imprisoned by the situation of your birth, the economy of your country, or the opinions of people around you. The greatest truth you must understand is that you live life at the level of your thinking. Everything you experience outside is a reflection of what you have accepted inside. Your external life is a mirror of your internal beliefs. This is why two people can grow up in the same house, under the same conditions, and yet one rises to success while the other remains stuck in mediocrity. It's not the condition of life that defines you, it's the condition of your mind. You see, the mind is the womb of destiny. Whatever thoughts you consistently allow in, you will eventually give birth to. You cannot outlive your belief system. If you think small, you will live small. If you think like a slave, you will act like one, even if someone sets you free. If you think like a failure, you will subconsciously sabotage every opportunity for success. That is why I tell you today, if you want to change your life, you must change your level of thinking. One of the greatest tragedies is that many people are living far below their potential, not because life has denied them opportunities, but because their mindset has locked them out of greatness. They have accepted limitations as truth. They have allowed the world to convince them that their dreams are unrealistic, that their background disqualifies them, that success is for others but not for them. And so, they build a mental prison, living life in a cage even though the door is wide open. The bars are not made of steel, they are made of thoughts. As a man thinks, so is he. This ancient principle is not a motivational slogan. It's a law of life. Your life expands or contracts in direct proportion to your mindset. If you believe you are capable, you will attempt the impossible. If you believe you are worthy, you will pursue opportunities. If you believe you are destined for greatness, you will prepare yourself for it. But if you think you are nothing, you will never attempt anything. The greatest battles are fought and won in the mind long before they are ever seen in the world. The reason why many people stay stuck is because they are trying to change their life without changing their mind. They want a better job, but they still think with an employee mindset. They want financial freedom, but they still carry a poverty mentality. They desire success, but their thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and self-sabotage. They are trying to build a palace with the blueprint of a prison. Until you renew the blueprint, the structure of your life will never change. The most dangerous thing in life is not failure, it's small thinking. Failure can be a lesson, but small thinking becomes a lifelong limitation. When you shrink your thinking, you shrink your life, you shrink your influence, you shrink your capacity. You can only lead to the level you think. You can only love to the level you think. You can only prosper to the level you think. That is why the battlefield is the mind. It is not enough to change your clothes, your job, or your location. You must change your mind. Your thinking is the thermostat of your life. It sets the climate. You cannot live a life of abundance with a mindset of scarcity. You cannot live a life of excellence with a mindset of mediocrity. The temperature of your life will always return to the setting of your dominant thoughts. That is why even when some people get a sudden breakthrough, they lose it quickly, because their mindset is still stuck in the old temperature. Unless you elevate your thinking, you will sabotage the blessings that come your way. The mind must rise before the life can rise. Greatness is not an accident. It is the result of intentional, deliberate, disciplined thinking. Every successful person you admire first won the battle in their mind. They saw themselves succeeding before anyone else believed it. They trained their mind to reject the noise of negativity. They fed their mind with thoughts of purpose, of value, of destiny. They took control of their mental environment and refused to let external circumstances dictate their internal identity. That is the power of changing your mind. If you want to change your life, stop looking at your salary, stop looking at your circumstances, stop blaming your past. None of those things control your future. Your mind is the control tower of your life. Change your thoughts and you will change your altitude. Expand your vision, and you will expand your influence. Elevate your mindset, and your life will rise to meet it. This is not motivational hype. This is a law of creation. You live life at the level of your thinking. Therefore, be intentional about your thoughts. Guard your mind like a treasure. Feed it with wisdom, not gossip. Surround it with vision, not negativity. Challenge small thinking and stretch your capacity every day, because the life you are living today is a reflection of the thoughts you believed yesterday, and the life you will live tomorrow will be a product of the thoughts you cultivate today. Change your mind, change your life. Your future is not ahead of you. It is trapped inside your mind. Most people spend their lives chasing something that's already within them, looking for success as if it's an external event, searching for opportunities as if the world is hiding them. But the truth is, the future you desire, the life you dream about, the success you're pursuing is already within you. It is not something you wait for, it is something you release. Until you unlock the potential that is buried in your thoughts, you will continue to live below your purpose. You see, life does not respond to wishes. Life responds to vision, and vision is born in the mind. You will never manifest what your mind refuses to conceive. If you cannot see yourself achieving it, you will never pursue it. The greatest limitation is not the absence of opportunities. It is the absence of imagination. People think the lack of resources is their problem, but the real problem is the lack of mental resourcefulness. The future always starts as a picture in your mind. If you can't see it in here, you'll never hold it out there. It's a principle that governs every aspect of life. A house is first built in the mind of the architect before a single brick is laid. A song is first heard in the heart of the composer before a note is played. Likewise, your future must first be visualized in your mind before it becomes reality in your life. But many people have surrendered their power of imagination. They have allowed circumstances to define what they think is possible. They have become blind to their own potential. They wait for life to change instead of realizing life is waiting for them to change the way they think. The mind is the womb of creation. Whatever you conceive in your mind, you give permission to grow in your life. But here's the challenge. Most people have been programmed to expect small things. They have been conditioned by their upbringing, by their environment, by their experiences to think within limitations. So even when life offers them opportunities, they cannot see them. The opportunity is there, but the mental lens they're looking through is too small. They miss it not because it isn't real, but because their mind is not prepared to recognize it. Everything in life is a product of mental permission. You rise to the level of what your mind allows. That's why two people can go to the same school, work at the same company, have the same resources, yet their outcomes in life are completely different. The difference is not opportunity, the difference is mindset. One gave themselves permission to think bigger, to dream wider, to believe deeper. The other limited themselves to what they were told was possible. Both are living in the exact world they created in their minds. There's a dangerous trap that many fall into. The belief that external changes will automatically produce internal transformation. They think, if I get a better job, I'll feel more successful. Or if I move to a different city, I'll be more motivated. But what they fail to understand is that you carry your mind with you wherever you go. You can change your location, but if you don't change your perception, you'll repeat the same cycles in a new place. External change without internal vision leads to frustration. Your life is a canvas, and your mind holds the brush. Whatever picture you paint in your thoughts, life will reflect it. If you paint images of fear, doubt, and failure, your life will mirror that. If you paint images of success, abundance, and purpose, life will rearrange itself to align with that vision. This is not fantasy. This is the principle of manifestation. You cannot harvest what you refuse to plant in your mind. But here's where discipline comes in. Vision is not a one-time event, it is a daily discipline. Every day you must feed your mind images of where you want to go. Every day you must challenge thoughts that contradict your destiny. The mind, if left unattended, will default to fear. It will default to mediocrity. You must be intentional about training your mind to see possibilities where others see problems, to see doors where others see walls, to see opportunity in every obstacle. You must also understand that vision is not always validated immediately. When you begin to see yourself succeeding, when you start imagining a greater future, the world around you may not change right away. But don't be deceived. Vision always manifests first in the invisible realm before it shows up in the visible. You have to be patient with the process. Many people give up on their vision because they want instant results. They fail to realize that the seed of vision takes time to grow roots before it bears fruit. If you stay committed to the picture in your mind, eventually life will catch up with your imagination. But vision without belief is useless. It's not enough to see a better future. You must believe it belongs to you. You must carry the conviction that your current circumstances are temporary, but your potential is eternal. The world will try to convince you otherwise. People will project their own limitations onto you. But remember, their opinion is not your reality unless you accept it in your mind. You must protect your vision from the noise of small thinkers. Your future is not something far away. It's locked inside you, waiting for permission to be released. The key is your mind. The moment you change the way you see yourself, the moment you expand the limits of your thinking, you activate a chain reaction that alters the direction of your life. You don't need to wait for someone to give you an opportunity. Your opportunity is in your thoughts. Unlock it, cultivate it, believe in it, and your life will rise to meet the picture you hold in your mind. Time is the currency of life. Every second that passes is not just a moment, it is a seed. How you invest that seed determines the kind of harvest you will experience in your future. Time is the great equalizer. It is the one resource that every human being has in equal measure. You may not have the same money, connections, or background as others, but you have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between success and failure, between progress and stagnation, is not how much time you have, but how you use it. You cannot manage life if you cannot manage time. Time is life in measurable form. When you waste time, you are literally wasting life. The tragedy is that many people treat time as if it's an unlimited resource. They procrastinate, they get distracted, they engage in activities that have no bearing on their destiny, all while life is ticking away. Every minute you spend is gone forever. You cannot recycle time. You can make more money, you can build more relationships, but you cannot create more time. Once it is spent, it is gone. Therefore, how you spend your time is a direct reflection of how you value your life. Most people think that being busy is the same as being productive, but busyness is not purpose. You can be extremely busy and achieve nothing of significance. You can be running fast and still be going in the wrong direction. Maximizing time is not about filling your day with endless activities. It is about prioritizing purpose. It is about discerning what matters most and aligning your actions with your ultimate assignment in life. Every day, you are either moving closer to your destiny or further away from it, depending on how you allocate your time. Time must be spent on purpose. Purpose gives time its value. If you do not know your purpose, you will misuse your time. People who lack purpose will fill their schedules with trivialities. They will get caught up in the urgency of the moment and neglect the importance of their mission. The danger is not just in doing wrong things. It is in doing too many right things that are not essential to your assignment. Distraction is the enemy of destiny, and the most subtle distractions are not always evil. They are the good things that steal you from the best things. You must become a master of saying no. Every yes you give is a no to something else. If you say yes to every invitation, every meeting, every request, you will find yourself depleted, scattered, and unfulfilled. Successful people are not those who do everything. They are those who do what is necessary. They are intentional about their time. They understand that every second is a building block of their future. Therefore, they guard their time with the same diligence as a banker guards his vault. They understand that time is more valuable than money because money lost can be regained, but time lost is lost forever. One of the most dangerous mindsets is the illusion of someday. People postpone their dreams, their growth, their purpose, waiting for a perfect time that will never come. They think they have more time than they actually do, but life is not waiting for you. Time keeps moving forward. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to recover lost momentum. There is no such thing as the right time to start pursuing your purpose. The right time is the moment you wake up to the value of your time. Discipline is the foundation of effective time management. Without discipline, you will squander precious hours on entertainment, social media, gossip, and activities that do not contribute to your growth. Discipline is what keeps you aligned when distractions are screaming for your attention. It is what allows you to focus on what matters, even when it is not urgent. Discipline teaches you to value preparation over procrastination, to choose long-term growth over short-term pleasure. The secret to maximizing time is to see every moment as an investment. Ask yourself, is this conversation, this activity, this engagement adding value to my destiny? Is it taking me closer to the vision I have for my life? If the answer is no, you must have the courage to walk away. It's not arrogance, it's stewardship. You are the steward of your time. No one will manage it for you. People will pull you in 1,000 directions if you let them. But you must be the guardian of your own destiny. To maximize time, you must also master focus. Focus compresses time. When you are focused, you can achieve in 1 hour what a distracted person cannot accomplish in a week. Focus multiplies the effectiveness of time. This is why successful people are not always the busiest. They are simply the most focused. They have learned to eliminate the unnecessary, to silence the noise, and to lock in on what produces results. Understand this. Every dream requires time to manifest. Time is the soil in which vision grows. You cannot plant a seed today and expect a harvest tomorrow, but you must be diligent in nurturing that seed daily. Every small investment of time, every disciplined action, every intentional choice compounds over time and produces extraordinary results. But if you are careless with your time, if you allow it to be consumed by trivialities, you are robbing yourself of the future you desire. The person you will become 5 years from now is determined by how you manage your time today. Time is a silent builder. It works whether you're conscious of it or not. But if you learn to align your time with your purpose, you will build a life of significance. The tragedy of life is not that it ends too soon. It's that we wait too long to start living it intentionally. Don't let life happen to you. Take control by taking control of your time. Because every second wasted is a piece of your destiny delayed. Discipline is the bridge that carries your thoughts into reality. You can think great thoughts, have powerful ideas, and dream mighty dreams, but without discipline they will remain trapped in your mind. Your destiny does not respond to desire alone. The world does not change because you wish it to. Life is moved by action, and discipline is the force that turns intention into execution. Many people have potential, but few people develop it. Potential by itself is not enough. You can be filled with talent, gifted in many areas, and still live a life of regret because you lack the discipline to turn that potential into productivity. Discipline is the tool that chisels raw potential into refined purpose. It is what takes the unformed substance of your mind and shapes it into something that can be seen, touched, and experienced in the world. Discipline begins where emotion ends. Motivation can get you started, but only discipline will keep you going. There will be days when you don't feel like working, when distractions call your name, when the temptation to quit becomes louder than your purpose. That's when discipline must rise. Discipline is the internal governor that keeps you aligned with your vision even when the environment is pushing against you. Without discipline, you will be ruled by your mood. With discipline, you rule over your future. The problem is not that people don't know what to do, it's that they don't do what they know. Knowledge without discipline is like a seed that is never planted. It holds all the promise of life, but it bears no fruit. Discipline plants that seed daily, waters it with action, and waits patiently for the harvest. You cannot reap where you have not sown, and you cannot sow without discipline. Discipline is the difference between average and exceptional. The average person works when it's convenient. The exceptional person works consistently. The average person allows distractions to dictate their schedule. The exceptional person builds habits that protect their focus. The average person waits for inspiration. The exceptional person understands that discipline creates inspiration. When you are disciplined, you do not wait for the right mood. You create the right moment through consistent effort. You must understand that discipline is not punishment. It is protection. It protects your future from the theft of procrastination. It protects your purpose from the erosion of laziness. It is a shield against regret. There is nothing more painful than looking back at your life and realizing that what could have been was lost because you lacked the discipline to act. Discipline also requires vision. You cannot discipline yourself for nothing. You must have a picture in your mind that is so powerful, so compelling, that it gives you the strength to say no to lesser things. Vision gives discipline its meaning. When you know what you are building, you are less likely to waste time on things that don't contribute to that construction. Discipline is not about restriction, it's about prioritization. It's about knowing what to say yes to and having the strength to say no to everything else. Success is not an accident, it is predictable. It follows laws, and one of the greatest is the law of discipline. What you do consistently determines who you become permanently. You are not the sum of your occasional efforts. You are the sum of your daily disciplines. Every day, you are either getting closer to your vision or drifting further from it, based on the disciplines you live by. Discipline also multiplies time. A disciplined person does more in 1 hour than an undisciplined person does in a day. Why? Because discipline focuses your energy. It eliminates waste. It turns chaos into order. It is the power to harness your mental and physical resources and direct them toward a clear outcome. If you want to be efficient, be disciplined. If you want to be effective, be disciplined. If you want to be excellent, discipline must become your lifestyle, but make no mistake. Discipline is uncomfortable. It requires sacrifice. It demands that you delay gratification, that you endure temporary discomfort for long-term fulfillment. Many people are slaves to comfort, and because of that, they sacrifice their calling. Discipline challenges you to get up early, to stay up late, to keep going when others quit, to train when others rest. It is the price you pay for a life of meaning. The undisciplined may be comfortable today, but the disciplined will be fulfilled tomorrow. Discipline is also contagious. It creates momentum. One act of discipline leads to another. When you begin to take control of your actions, you begin to take control of your outcomes. Confidence is born from discipline. When you know you can trust yourself to follow through, you begin to walk differently, speak differently, and think differently. Discipline builds self-respect, and self-respect is the foundation for success. Ultimately, discipline is about stewardship. Your life, your time, your talents. They are gifts, but how you manage them is your responsibility. Discipline says, I honor the life I've been given by using it wisely. It says, I respect my purpose enough to protect it from distraction. It is the highest form of self-love and the greatest act of self-leadership. No one can discipline you for you. It must come from within, and the good news is this. Discipline is a choice. Every day you get to decide whether you will live by discipline or by default. One leads to destiny, the other to disappointment. An eagle was never designed to live in a chicken coop. It was born to soar above storms, to ride the winds that frighten lesser birds. But if you place an eagle among chickens, if you surround it with birds that spend their lives pecking at the ground, that eagle will begin to think like a chicken. It will lower its vision. It will clip its wings, not because it lacks the ability to fly, but because its environment taught it to stay grounded. This is how powerful atmosphere is. Your environment will either lift you into your destiny or bury you beneath mediocrity. The atmosphere you live in is shaping your thoughts every single day. Whether you realize it or not, the conversations you hear, the people you associate with, the places you frequent. These are all feeding your mind. If you spend your time in an atmosphere of negativity, gossip, laziness, or small-mindedness, you will begin to absorb that mentality. Even if you have a great vision in your heart, even if you are loaded with potential, the wrong environment will poison your mindset and suffocate your purpose. Atmosphere is to the mind what soil is to a seed. A seed, no matter how powerful its genetic code, cannot grow in concrete. It needs fertile soil. Likewise, you need an environment that nourishes your vision, that speaks life to your dreams, that challenges you to grow beyond your current capacity. Many people are frustrated because their life isn't changing, but they are still living in the same toxic environments that contradict their destiny. You cannot soar like an eagle if you insist on staying in the chicken coop. Your potential demands an environment that aligns with your purpose. You see, success is not just about hard work, it's about strategic positioning. A flower does not bloom in every garden. It must be planted in the right conditions. The same is true for your mind. If you surround yourself with people who belittle your aspirations, who constantly remind you of your limitations, you are suffocating your future. Small-minded people cannot nurture big visions. They will try to shrink you to fit their comfort zone, and if you stay in that atmosphere long enough, you will start to believe their opinions. That is why you must be intentional about the environments you expose your mind to. You must curate your circle of influence. Spend time with people who think bigger, who dream bolder, who live with purpose. Be in spaces where excellence is the standard, not the exception. Surround yourself with individuals who challenge your comfort, who provoke your growth, who refuse to let you settle for average. Iron sharpens iron, but if you're surrounded by plastic, you will lose your edge. Your environment also includes what you consume mentally. The books you read, the content you watch, the voices you listen to. These are all creating the atmosphere of your mind. If you are constantly feeding on negativity, fear, and mindless entertainment, you are poisoning your mental atmosphere. You must become a gatekeeper of your mind. Be ruthless about what you allow into your mental space, because the thoughts you entertain today will become the life you live tomorrow. One of the reasons why people struggle to break free from limitations is because they are emotionally attached to toxic environments. They are loyal to relationships that drain them. They are committed to traditions that no longer serve their purpose. Growth often requires separation. You cannot climb to higher levels while clinging to people or places that are pulling you down. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is to change your environment. Because your destiny is too important to be compromised by misplaced loyalty. You must also understand that atmosphere is not just external, it's internal. You carry an atmosphere with you wherever you go. If you allow worry, bitterness, or doubt to dominate your inner environment, you will sabotage opportunities even in the best external circumstances. This is why you must cultivate an inner atmosphere of faith, gratitude, and vision. Your inner environment must be stronger than any external opposition. When your internal atmosphere is aligned with your destiny, you become unstoppable. But changing your environment is not always about physical relocation. Sometimes it's about mental elevation. You can be in the same place physically, but rise to a higher plane mentally. You can change the environment of your mind by immersing yourself in new thoughts, new perspectives, new wisdom. Read books that challenge you. Listen to mentors who have walked where you want to go. Immerse your mind in environments of excellence, even if your current situation seems far from it. Your mind will always arrive before your life does. Change the atmosphere of your mind and your life will eventually follow. Understand this, you don't rise to the level of your wishes, you rise to the level of your environment. Eagles do not attend chicken conventions. They do not spend their energy convincing chickens to fly. They find the currents of the wind and rise above. You must be willing to make uncomfortable decisions about your environment. If you're the smartest person in your circle is too small. If you are the only visionary in your group is too safe. You need to be in environments that stretch you, that make you feel uncomfortable in your current level, that push you to think beyond your limitations. The power of environment is subtle but decisive. It doesn't change you overnight, it shapes you gradually. Like water dripping on a rock, it carves into your character, your beliefs, your habits. That's why you must choose your environment before it chooses you. Be intentional. Build atmospheres that nurture your growth. Seek spaces where your vision is celebrated, not tolerated. Guard your mental space like a treasure, because at the end of the day, your life will always grow to the size of the environment you choose to live in. Vision is the language of the mind. It is the internal picture that dictates the direction of your life. You do not live life based on where you are. You live life based on where you see yourself going. Every action you take, every decision you make, every path you follow is guided by the image you carry in your mind. If your mind has no clear picture, your life will have no clear direction. You will wake up every day moving, but not advancing. You will be busy, but not effective. Vision is what gives your mind something to focus on, something to build towards, something to pursue with intentionality. People fail not because they lack potential, but because they lack vision. Potential without vision is like a ship with no compass. You might have a powerful engine, but you will drift endlessly, going in circles, wasting fuel, wasting time, achieving nothing meaningful. Vision is what transforms potential into purpose. It gives your mind a destination, a reason to discipline itself, a reason to say no to distractions. Without vision, your life becomes a cycle of survival. Wake up, work, sleep, repeat. But vision awakens you to the fact that you were created for more than routine. You were designed for a mission. The problem is that many people have surrendered their ability to see. Life has blinded them with disappointments, failures, setbacks, and the opinions of small-minded people. They've been told so many times that their dreams are unrealistic that they stopped dreaming altogether. They live life with their eyes open, but their vision closed. But you cannot let the limitations of your past define the picture of your future. You must dare to see beyond your current condition. The greatest prison is not a physical cell. It is a mind that no longer imagines a greater future. Vision is not wishful thinking. It is a clear, vivid, intentional picture of the future that governs your present. It is a mental map that informs your daily choices. When you have vision, you don't waste time, you don't entertain every invitation, you don't involve yourself in every argument, you don't get distracted by every trend. Vision disciplines your mind. It filters out what is irrelevant and focuses your energy on what is essential. Vision simplifies life because it eliminates the unnecessary. One of the greatest mistakes people make is waiting for external validation of their vision. They want applause before they take action, but vision is personal. It is an internal revelation, not a public announcement. Do not expect people to understand what you see in your mind. They were not given your picture. They were not entrusted with your assignment. If you wait for consensus, you will live in compromise. Visionaries often walk alone before the world recognizes their path. Vision also fuels perseverance. Life will throw challenges your way. There will be days when you feel like quitting, when nothing seems to be working, when the journey feels too long. But vision becomes the anchor of your soul. It reminds you why you started. It pulls you forward when everything else is pushing you back. Vision speaks to you in the dark, assuring you that the light is worth pursuing. Without vision, obstacles become excuses. With vision, obstacles become stepping stones. But vision is not automatic. It must be cultivated. You must feed your mind images of where you want to go. You must expose yourself to environments that expand your thinking. You must read, learn, observe, and intentionally stretch your mental boundaries. Vision grows in the soil of intentional exposure. If you only expose your mind to mediocrity, you will never give birth to excellence. What you see consistently is what you will begin to believe, and what you believe you will eventually pursue. You must also protect your vision. Not everyone can handle your dreams. Sharing your vision with small-minded people is like showing a diamond to someone who has only seen rocks. They will not recognize its value. Some people will project their fears onto your vision. Others will mock it because it threatens their comfort. That's why you must be selective with who you allow to speak into your life. Vision is delicate in its early stages. It needs nurturing, not criticism. It needs faith, not fear. Guard your mental picture until it becomes strong enough to manifest externally. Vision demands clarity. A blurry vision leads to blurry actions. The clearer your vision, the more precise your steps. You cannot afford to live life vaguely. You must define what success looks like for you. What kind of life do you want to build? What impact do you want to leave? What legacy do you want to create? These questions give birth to vision, and once you have that clarity, every day becomes a strategic step towards that picture. Vision is also dynamic. It evolves as you grow. What you see today may expand tomorrow. Don't be afraid to revisit and refine your vision. Growth gives you new perspectives. As you develop, your capacity to see greater increases. Vision is not a static picture. It is a living revelation that matures with your journey. Ultimately, vision is the master key to a fulfilled life. Without it, you are at the mercy of circumstances. With it, you become the architect of your destiny. The world does not determine your future, your vision does. Your life will always move in the direction of the picture you hold in your mind. If you can see it, you can pursue it. If you pursue it with discipline, you will manifest it. That is the power of vision. It turns the invisible into the visible. It takes you from where you are to where you were destined to be. Vision is the language of the mind. It is the inner photograph of your future that speaks louder than your current circumstances. Your life will always rise to the level of what you consistently see in your mind. You cannot live beyond the picture you carry within you. That is why vision is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Without vision, you are like a traveler with no map, wandering through life, busy but going nowhere. You can have talent, opportunities, resources, but without vision, you will misuse them. Purpose begins when vision is born. The tragedy is that many people live their entire lives reacting to life instead of creating life. They wake up each day driven by emergencies, not by purpose. They get busy, but they don't get productive. They achieve activity, but they never achieve destiny. Because vision has not been established in their mind, their life becomes a cycle of survival. But you were not created to merely survive. You were designed to live life on purpose, and purpose is always hidden in vision. Your mind needs a picture to pursue. If you do not give your mind a clear vision, it will latch onto distractions. You were designed to be a visionary being. You were built to think ahead, to see the invisible, to reach for what has not yet been created. That's why visionaries are often misunderstood. They talk about things others can't see. They build things before the world realizes it needs them. But vision is not concerned with public opinion. It is a personal revelation that guides your actions even when no one else understands your direction. Most people are trapped not by their environment but by the smallness of their vision. They believe their current situation is permanent. They allow their upbringing, their failures, and the voices of doubters to become the frame through which they see life. But you cannot build a palace of destiny with the blueprint of a prison. Until you change the picture in your mind, you will continue to replicate the same cycles externally. If you want to change your life, you must change what you see. Vision gives birth to discipline. When you have a clear picture of where you are going, you don't have time for every invitation. You don't have the luxury of entertaining every distraction. Vision simplifies life. It becomes a filter for your decisions. If it doesn't align with your vision, you don't engage. If it doesn't build towards your purpose, you let it go. People without vision chase everything. People with vision are focused on their assignment. This is why success is not found in being busy, but in being aligned. One of the greatest mistakes people make is waiting for external validation of their vision. They want people to approve their dreams before they pursue them. But vision is not a democracy. The vision you carry was entrusted to you, not to the crowd. If you keep seeking permission from people who don't share your destiny, you will delay your own journey. There will be seasons where your vision feels lonely. But that loneliness is necessary for clarity. Visionaries often walk alone before they lead others. The strength of your vision determines your endurance. Life will test you. There will be obstacles, delays, and disappointments. But when vision is alive in you, it fuels your perseverance. You endure not because life is easy, but because the picture of your future is greater than the pain of your present. Vision keeps you grounded when circumstances shake you. It keeps you moving when motivation fades. It keeps you building when others are quitting. Without vision, people give up too easily. With vision, you learn to outlast temporary trials. But vision is not self-sustaining. You must feed it daily. Vision must be nurtured with knowledge, exposure, and reflection. If you do not water your vision with fresh ideas, it will become stale. You must constantly expand your mental environment to keep your vision alive. Read books that stretch your thinking. Engage with people who challenge your limitations. Visit places that inspire creativity. Your vision will only grow to the size of the world you expose it to. Vision must also be protected. In its early stages, vision is fragile. Negative voices, small thinkers, and even your own doubts can suffocate it. That is why you must be selective with who you share your vision with. Not everyone is qualified to handle your dreams. Some people will belittle what they don't understand. Others will project their fears onto your ambitions. You must guard your vision like a precious seed, planting it only in environments where it can grow. Clarity is essential for vision to be effective. Vague visions produce vague results. You must be able to define your desired future in detail. Where do you see yourself? What kind of impact do you want to make? What legacy do you want to leave? The more specific you are, the more power your vision holds. A blurry picture will not motivate action, but a clear, vivid image pulls you forward, energizes your focus, and sharpens your execution. You must also understand that vision evolves. What you see today is the seed of a greater revelation. As you grow, your capacity to see bigger will increase. You must be willing to revisit, refine, and expand your vision as you mature. Vision is not a destination. It is a journey of continuous unveiling. The more you walk towards it, the clearer it becomes. The clearer it becomes, the faster you move, and the faster you move, the more you manifest. In the end, vision is the architect of your destiny. Your life will never rise beyond the picture you hold in your mind. The world does not determine your future, your vision does. The mind was designed to create the future through the power of internal imagery. If you can see it consistently, believe it deeply, and pursue it daily, it will eventually manifest externally. You are not waiting on life. Life is waiting on you to see. Vision is the master key. If you can see it, you can become it. Renewing your mind is not a one-time event. It is a daily discipline. The mind does not stay renewed by default. It is constantly being influenced, shaped, and molded by the environment around you. Every conversation, every image, every thought, every voice you listen to is either renewing your mind or contaminating it. You cannot expect to live a transformed life if you are not intentionally managing the condition of your mind on a daily basis. Mind renewal is not a destination you arrive at. It is a practice you commit to for life. Most people want a new life with an old mindset. They desire transformation in their external circumstances while remaining passive about their internal patterns of thought. But life does not change at the surface level. It changes at the root. If your mind is filled with fear, doubt, mediocrity, and limiting beliefs, no amount of external change will create lasting progress. You can change your location, your job, even your circle of friends. But if you do not change the way you think, you will reproduce the same cycles in a different setting. The mind is the control center of your life. Until it is renewed, your life remains restricted. You see, the mind, if left unmanaged, will always drift back to familiar patterns. That is why mind renewal must be intentional and daily. It is like bathing. You don't clean yourself once and stay clean forever. The dust and dirt of life accumulate as you move through each day. Similarly, your mind is exposed to negativity, fear, gossip, distractions, and mediocrity from the moment you wake up. If you do not take time each day to cleanse your mind, you will carry mental dirt that clouds your vision, pollutes your attitude, and sabotages your purpose. Renewing the mind is not about motivational hype. It is about replacing old dysfunctional thought patterns with new purpose-driven principles. You must constantly interrogate your beliefs. Why do you think the way you think? Who told you that you can't succeed? Who convinced you that your dream is too big? Many people are trapped in thought systems that were planted by others: parents, teachers, society, culture. They inherited beliefs that limit them, and they live their entire lives within those mental cages without questioning the origin of those thoughts. But renewal begins when you challenge every thought that does not align with your purpose. You must become a gatekeeper of your mind, refusing to entertain thoughts of limitation, self-pity, or fear. Mind renewal is the discipline of reprogramming your internal dialogue. You must deliberately feed your mind with thoughts of possibility, purpose, value, and destiny. This is not a passive process, it is warfare. You are in a daily battle against small thinking. If you are not renewing your mind, life will do it for you, and life will program you with mediocrity. Mind renewal also requires consistency. You cannot renew your mind once a week and expect daily transformation. It is a lifestyle. Every morning you must set the tone for your day by aligning your thoughts with your vision. Every evening you must reflect and recalibrate. You must train your mind like an athlete trains their body. Consistency turns renewal into a habit, and habits shape identity. Your mind will eventually believe what you consistently tell it. Speak life to your mind every day, even when your circumstances contradict it. One of the key aspects of mind renewal is exposure. You cannot renew your mind in isolation. You need to be exposed to new ideas, new environments, new conversations. Exposure stretches your thinking. It challenges your assumptions. It introduces you to possibilities you never considered. But exposure must be intentional. Not every environment feeds your growth. You must seek out books, mentors, and communities that elevate your thinking, not ones that comfort your mediocrity. Exposure without discernment is dangerous. Be strategic about what and who you expose your mind to. Renewing your mind also requires patience. Transformation is a process, not an event. Do not be discouraged when you don't see immediate external results. The most important changes happen beneath the surface. When a farmer plants a seed, he does not see fruit the next day. But he knows that beneath the soil, life is taking root. The same is true for mind renewal. Every positive thought, every disciplined action, every time you reject a limiting belief, you are planting seeds for future transformation. Be patient with yourself. Growth is inevitable if the process is consistent. You must also understand that mind renewal is not just about positive thinking. It is about purposeful thinking. You are not renewing your mind just to feel good. You are renewing it to fulfill your assignment on earth. Purpose is the compass of mind renewal. It is what keeps you focused. You renew your mind so that you can think in alignment with your destiny, so you can make decisions that honor your purpose, so you can navigate life with clarity and intentionality. Purpose gives your thoughts direction. Mind renewal also equips you to handle challenges. Life will always present storms, but a renewed mind responds differently. When challenges come, an old mindset reacts with panic and defeat. A renewed mind responds with strategy and resilience. You see problems as opportunities to grow. You see delays as preparation seasons. You see opposition as confirmation that you are on the right path. A renewed mind is not shaken by temporary circumstances because it is anchored in long-term vision. Ultimately, mind renewal is an act of leadership. You are leading yourself every time you choose to align your thoughts with your vision. You are leading your future by managing your internal world. You are leading your destiny by mastering your mental environment, and leadership begins with self-discipline. You cannot lead others effectively if you cannot lead your own mind. Daily renewal is not an option. It is a requirement for anyone who desires to live a life of impact, influence, and legacy. Your life is the sum total of your habits. You don't decide your future. You decide your habits, and your habits decide your future. Success is not the result of one-time events. It is the product of small, consistent actions repeated daily. The tragedy is that most people are looking for breakthroughs while neglecting the daily behaviors that create them. They are praying for a miracle but ignoring the discipline of their routines. But life does not respond to wishful thinking. It responds to daily habits. The difference between those who live fulfilled lives and those who live frustrated lives is found in the small decisions they make every single day. Habits are the invisible architects of destiny. They shape your thinking, your behavior, your attitude, and ultimately your results. You don't become excellent by accident. You become excellent by cultivating excellent habits. Every small decision you make, every repeated action, every daily choice is either moving you closer to your purpose or dragging you further into mediocrity. Success is not an event you attend, it is a habit you live. If you master your habits, you master your life. The problem is that we often underestimate the power of small decisions. People think it's the big decisions that define their lives, the major career moves, the life-changing opportunities. But in reality, your life is shaped more by the tiny, often unnoticed choices you make repeatedly. The decision to wake up early or sleep in, to read a book or scroll through distractions, to exercise or make excuses, to invest in your growth or procrastinate until tomorrow. These are the decisions that build or break your destiny. Habits are powerful because they compound over time. Small disciplines practiced consistently lead to extraordinary results, but habits do not form automatically. They require intentionality. You must design your habits with the same care an architect designs a building. If you do not design your habits, life will design them for you, and life will not design them based on your purpose. It will design them based on convenience. Convenience is the enemy of destiny. If you only do what is comfortable, you will never achieve what is meaningful. You must make deliberate choices that align with who you want to become, not who you are today. Habits also have a compounding effect. The results may not be immediate, but they are inevitable. A person who reads for 20 minutes a day may not notice a difference after 1 week, but after a year their mind will be transformed. A person who saves a small percentage of their income consistently may not see wealth in a month, but over time their financial life will reflect that discipline. This is the law of compounding. Small, smart choices, practiced consistently over time, lead to massive transformation. The danger, however, is in the subtlety of habits. Because the results are not immediate, people give up too soon. They plant seeds and expect an instant harvest, but the process of growth is invisible before it becomes visible. You must be willing to stick with the process even when there's no applause, no recognition, no instant gratification. Habits require patience. The breakthrough you are praying for is often hiding behind the daily discipline you are neglecting. Habits also reveal your true priorities. You can say you value growth, but if your habits are filled with procrastination, entertainment, and laziness, your life will reflect your true values, not your spoken intentions. Your habits expose what you truly value. That's why it's not enough to declare your goals. You must align your daily habits with those goals. You cannot expect to become a leader if you do not have the habits of a leader. You cannot expect to be excellent if your daily routine is filled with mediocrity. Habits are the bridge between your desires and your destiny. But building habits requires self-awareness. You must be honest about your current patterns. You cannot change what you are unwilling to confront. Take inventory of your habits. What are the small decisions you make every day? Do they align with your vision, or are they sabotaging your future? You must be brutally honest about the habits that need to be broken and the habits that need to be built. Change begins with awareness. You must also simplify habit formation. Many people fail to build habits because they try to change too much at once. Transformation does not require an overhaul. It requires strategic adjustments. Focus on small, manageable habits that you can sustain. Consistency is more powerful than intensity. A 5-minute habit practiced daily is more effective than a 1-hour habit practiced occasionally. Start small, build momentum, and expand as you grow stronger in discipline. Another key principle is environment. Habits thrive in environments that support them. You must create surroundings that make good habits easy and bad habits difficult. If you want to read more, place books where you can see them. If you want to reduce distractions, design your workspace to minimize interruptions. Your environment should be a silent partner in your success. It should constantly remind you of the person you are becoming. Accountability is also crucial. Habits are easier to build when you are held accountable. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to stay disciplined. Find a mentor, a friend, or a community that supports your growth. Accountability magnifies commitment. When you know someone is watching, you are more likely to follow through. Success is rarely achieved in isolation. Habits are strengthened through community and support. Ultimately, your habits are the foundation of your legacy. The person you are becoming is hidden in the small, unseen choices you are making today. You don't build a great life through random bursts of effort. You build it through intentional, disciplined habits. Master your mornings, own your evenings, dominate your hours, because every second carries the weight of your destiny. Habits are the builders of your future. If you manage them, they will multiply your potential. If you neglect them, they will sabotage your purpose. The choice is daily, and the choice is yours. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Every word you speak is a creative force shaping the atmosphere of your life. Your future is not just something you wait for. It is something you speak into existence. The power of life and death is in your tongue. You are either prophesying to your destiny or sabotaging it by the words you release daily. Many people are praying for a future they are speaking against. They are asking for breakthroughs while their own words are building barriers. You cannot live a positive life while speaking negative words. The mind responds to what the mouth declares. When you speak, you are programming your subconscious. Your words become instructions for your brain, your emotions, your decisions. If you constantly say, "I can't do this," your mind will accept that command and filter your actions accordingly. If you declare, "This is possible for me," your mind will begin to seek solutions and strategies to manifest that reality. Your words set the parameters of your possibility. You rise or fall to the level of your confession, but most people are careless with their words. They speak based on feelings, not on faith. They let frustration, fear, and external circumstances dictate their language. But your mouth must be governed by vision, not by emotion. Vision speaks of where you are going, not where you are. Your words must be aligned with your future, not your frustration. When you understand that words are seeds, you become intentional about what you plant. You don't allow temporary emotions to produce permanent declarations. You must also realize that words are architects. They build the structure of your reality. Every successful person you admire first built their future in words before they built it in actions. Speech precedes manifestation. You cannot produce externally what you have not declared internally. Your words give your mind the blueprint to construct your life. If your language is small, your life will be small. If your language is expansive, your life will expand. You cannot outlive the vocabulary of your own mouth. That's why you must develop a disciplined vocabulary. Speaking to your future is not about empty affirmations or wishful thinking. It is about aligning your declarations with your design. Your words must reflect the blueprint of your purpose. Every morning you wake up, you must remind your future who you are. Speak words of purpose. Speak words of power. Speak words that stretch your vision. Your mouth is not a toy, it is a tool. It is a steering wheel that directs the course of your life. One of the most dangerous habits is casual negativity. People joke about their failures, belittle their abilities, and make light of their limitations, not realizing that every word is a seed. Casual words create serious consequences. You must eliminate phrases like "I'm always broke," "I'm not smart enough," "nothing ever works for me." These are not harmless expressions, they are destructive declarations. They are programming your mind to reproduce those realities. Be ruthless about eliminating language that contradicts your destiny. Words also carry the power to shift atmospheres. The right words spoken at the right time can unlock doors, build relationships, and create opportunities. Conversely, careless words can destroy favor, damage trust, and close doors meant for your elevation. You must treat every conversation as a seed-planting opportunity. Every interaction is a chance to speak life, to speak purpose, to speak favor. Words build bridges or burn them. The choice is in how you wield your tongue. But speaking to your future also requires consistency. It is not enough to declare positive words once and expect instant transformation. Life responds to persistent, consistent speech. You must speak to your future daily, even when your current circumstances seem unchanged. The words you speak today are preparing the reality you will step into tomorrow. Like a farmer watering a seed, your declarations are nurturing the soil of your destiny. Do not grow weary in speaking life, for in due season you will harvest what you have declared. Your words must also be accompanied by belief. You cannot speak one thing while believing another. Faith-infused words have creative power. Doubt-filled words are empty noise. Before you can speak to your future effectively, you must align your internal belief system with your external confession. This requires renewing your mind, feeding your faith, and eliminating limiting beliefs. Your words are only as powerful as the conviction behind them. When you believe deeply, your words carry authority. You must also understand that speaking to your future is not just about personal success. It is about generational impact. The words you declare over your life will echo into the lives of your children, your community, and everyone connected to you. Your declarations are setting a standard for the next generation. When you speak purposefully, you are not only building your own life, you are laying a foundation for others to build upon. Words have generational reach. There is also a creative rhythm to your words. What you repeatedly declare, you begin to see. What you see, you begin to feel. What you feel, you begin to act upon. And what you act upon, you begin to live. It all starts with words. Words set the rhythm of your life. If your rhythm is one of defeat, discouragement, and fear, your life will move to that beat. But if your rhythm is one of purpose, power, and possibility, your life will begin to align with that tempo. Ultimately, you must take responsibility for the atmosphere you create with your words. You are the prophet of your own life. You don't need to wait for someone else to declare your future. You have the power to speak it into being. Every time you open your mouth, you are releasing either life or death, progress or stagnation, faith or fear. Master your words and you will master your world. Your mind is the battleground of your destiny. Everything you will ever become, everything you will ever achieve, begins with the condition of your mind. That is why you must guard your mind with fierce intentionality. You are not defeated when problems come from outside. You are defeated when those problems are allowed to enter and settle within your mind. The enemy of your destiny is not just external opposition. It is internal distraction. Distractions are the silent thieves of destiny. They don't announce their presence. They slip in quietly, consuming your focus, scattering your thoughts, and delaying your purpose. Every moment you spend distracted is a moment you lose from building your vision. You may think it's harmless to indulge in small distractions, but over time, those small moments of scattered attention accumulate into massive chunks of wasted life. Distraction is not just about wasting time, it is about wasting potential. You are not just losing hours, you are losing what those hours could have built. Time is not your most valuable asset, attention is, because wherever your attention goes, your life follows. The danger of distraction is that it often wears the disguise of urgency. Your phone buzzes, a notification pops up, a trivial task demands your immediate response, and before you know it, your mind is hijacked. You started the day with intention, but you end it wondering where the time went. Distractions are thieves that do not steal with violence. They steal with subtlety. That's why guarding your mind requires more than good intentions. It requires a strategic defense system. Guarding your mind begins with clarity of purpose. When you are clear about what you are building, you become intolerant of anything that pulls you away from it. Distractions lose their power when your purpose is stronger than your impulses. Many people are easily distracted because they are not deeply connected to their vision. A man with no target hits everything. But when your target is clear, you will not waste your arrows on irrelevant battles. Purpose gives you the strength to say no, not because you are rude, but because you are focused. Your environment also plays a critical role in guarding your mind. You cannot expect to maintain focus while immersing yourself in environments designed to distract you. Your surroundings must support your focus, not sabotage it. Design your physical and digital spaces in a way that aligns with your vision. Eliminate clutter, mute unnecessary noise, create an atmosphere that reminds you of your assignment. If your environment is chaotic, your mind will reflect that chaos. But guarding your mind is not just about external environments. It is about internal discipline. You must learn to govern your thoughts. Every thought is an invitation. You decide which thoughts are allowed to stay and which must be evicted. You cannot afford to entertain thoughts that diminish your purpose. Doubt, fear, self-pity. These are distractions in disguise. They do not build, they erode. When a negative thought knocks, you must have the discipline to reject it immediately. Your mind is sacred ground. Not every thought deserves residence there. One of the most dangerous distractions is comparison. In a world flooded with images of other people's successes, it's easy to lose sight of your own lane. You begin to measure your journey by someone else's timeline. You allow their highlight reel to define your sense of progress. But comparison is a thief. It robs you of focus, joy, and authenticity. Guarding your mind means staying anchored in your unique path. Your purpose is custom made. It cannot be compared. Guarding your mind also requires mastering the art of focus. Focus is not a talent. It is a trained discipline. You must learn to give your full attention to one task at a time. Multitasking is a myth. It divides your energy, dilutes your excellence, and multiplies your errors. Excellence is born in the moments of undivided attention. You cannot create masterpieces in an environment of mental fragmentation. Deep work requires deep focus. Shallow attention produces shallow results. But to guard your mind, you must also respect your energy cycles. You are not a machine. You have peak hours where your focus is sharpest. Identify those hours and protect them like treasure. Schedule your most important work during those times. Do not waste your peak energy on trivial tasks. Success is not just about working hard. It's about working smart. Guarding your mind involves aligning your most critical tasks with your highest energy levels. You must also set boundaries for your mental space. Not every conversation deserves your attention. Not every argument requires your participation. You must become selective about where you invest your mental energy. People will try to pull you into their drama, their opinions, their emergencies. But you must have the courage to protect your peace. Guarding your mind is an act of leadership. It is saying, I refuse to be a dumping ground for distractions. Rest is also a weapon in guarding your mind. A tired mind is a vulnerable mind. When you are mentally exhausted, distractions become more appealing. You lose the sharpness to discern what is essential. That is why rest is not a luxury, it is a discipline. Mental clarity is fueled by adequate rest. You cannot produce excellence from a depleted mind. Guarding your mind means respecting its need for recovery. Ultimately, guarding your mind is about honoring your destiny. You have been entrusted with purpose, with gifts, with assignments that require the full capacity of your mental faculties. You cannot afford to live distracted. Your future is too important to be delayed by irrelevant noise. Every day you must wake up with the awareness that your mind is the control center of your life. Protect it, feed it, focus it, govern it, because the quality of your mind determines the quality of your life. Everything you've been searching for is not outside of you. It's locked within the corridors of your mind. Your life will never rise above the level of your thinking. You can pray, you can work, you can dream, but if your mind remains trapped in the patterns of yesterday, you will continue to reproduce the same result.